Your kid's bike lasted 2 summers. The chain jumped, the shifter went brittle, and the shop said fixing it would cost more than it did new. You remember yours differently, and you're right to. Everybody knows Schwinn went bankrupt in 1992, and everybody figures that's the year the bikes went cheap. Here's what nobody tells you. The company that filed in '92 had already stopped building its own bikes. The bankruptcy wasn't the crash. It was the paperwork after. Mine's the '64 Stingray. Radiant copper tone, banana seat, sissy bar. My father brought it home the Christmas I was 9, and the front fender still carries the crease from the day I found out what a curb does. Still rolls straight. For almost 100 years, Schwinn meant one family and one city. Ignaz Schwinn started building bicycles in Chicago in 1895, and 4 generations of his family ran the company after him. In 1963, a Schwinn man named Al Fritz flew out to California because kids there were doing something strange, bolting long seats and tall handlebars onto their bikes to make them look like motorcycles. Fritz took a good look, cleaned it up, and called it the Stingray. This episode brought to you by Fifth Pour, where every bourbon bottle gets its story. Scan a bottle, read what other enthusiasts felt about it, and add your own. Every bottle has a story. Find them all at fifthpour.com. By Christmas of that first year, they'd sold 45,000 and couldn't build them fast enough. It became the best-selling bike Schwinn ever made. 20-inch wheels, a frame you could drop off a porch step, a seat built for 2 even though it said 1. And every one of them was welded in Chicago by people who'd been doing it their whole working lives. Here's the year they don't put in the ads. 1980. On October 29th, 1,400 workers at the Chicago plant walked out. 13 weeks on the picket line in a Chicago winter. And when it settled, the company had already made up its mind about them. 3 years later, Schwinn closed the Chicago plant for good. The city that built the Stingray never built another bike with that name on it. So where did the work go? 2 places, and both of them are the story. One was a brand new plant in Greenville, Mississippi, a long way from the airports, a long way from the highways, a long way from the parts. Good people, wrong place, and the bikes coming off that line were never quite right. Greenville lost money every single year it ran, 10 straight, and closed in the fall of '91. 250 jobs gone. The other place was Taiwan, a young company called Giant. And Schwinn didn't just buy bikes from Giant, it taught them. Handed over the specs, the standards, the way a Schwinn had to be built, because the bikes still had to feel like Schwinn's. For a while that looked clever. Then, in 1987, Schwinn moved work to a newer, cheaper partner in China. And Giant, run by a man who used to sell Schwinns for Schwinn, started putting its own name on the bikes it had learned to build. The student had the factory, the skills, and the price. The teacher had a name and a warehouse. Quick pause. We make this show because we care about the things people used to do right. So it makes sense our sponsors do too. Captain's Krill Oil is run by somebody who refused to switch to the factory method. The whole industry uses chemical solvents now because it's faster. Captain still extracts krill oil mechanically, right on the boat, the way nature intended it. CaptainsKrillOil.com. Back in a sec. October 7th, 1992. Chapter 11. In Chicago, 4 generations in. Schwinn had sold 1 million bikes in 1987. By '91, it was half that, and the company owed $82 million it didn't have. The next year, an investment group bought the name for $40 million, and the family was out after 97 years. The bikes at the big box store today still say Schwinn on the frame. That word is the only part the old company ever touched. Neighbor bought his grandboy a bike this spring. The pedal came off in June, and the shop told him the repair would run more than the bike did. He's still deciding. So that's what happened to the last great kid's bike. Nothing happened to the bike. The Stingrays are still out there, still rolling, outlasting the kids who got them for Christmas. What happened is a company spent 10 years teaching the rest of the world to build its bike, and then found out the rest of the world had learned. My Stingray never heard about any of it. The crease is still in the fender, and it still rolls. Next time, on The Last Great, the telephone that hung on your kitchen wall for 30 years, and what the 1984 breakup took with it. They knew how to build them to last. They just decided it was more profitable not to. 62 years, still rolling. Add it to the board. That puts it at 1371.